Hello and welcome to the channel. And today I am going to be talking about Celtic, who just within sort of 45 minutes ago, I think it was, the game ended and Celtic finally got back to winning ways in the Scottish Premiership. Obviously, things haven't been going very well for Celtic so far this season. There's been a few ups and downs across the last few weeks, but finally a win. So overall, the performance of the first half, I thought Celtic were excellent. I thought Celtic were really good in the first half. Got 2 goals, both Mohamed El Younousi scored both of them, and really good performance. Everybody kind of looked solid, and Celtic dominated the play. They had far more possession. They often looked dangerous in possession. The tempo was high. So yeah, full marks for the first half. The goals were well worked. Elionossi obviously finishing them both. The first one was a Yeti, hit the post, and it bounced back out, and then Elionossi was onto it, which was, it's good to see that the players are reacting and on their toes at situations like that. I think if Elionossi hadn't got it, Christie was right behind him, so he was going to be the next in line anyway. Second goal again, Elionossi. Trying to think. Yes, it was Tom Rogic. Made a good run into the box and passed it back to Elionossi, who tapped it in from close range. So yeah, 2-0 at the break. Second half didn't start anywhere near as good. They were a lot deeper. They allowed Motherwell to get on the ball, and Motherwell had their opportunities, and it kind of felt like there was going to be a goal coming. It was like just a matter of how long it was going to take Motherwell to score, because Celtic started the set deep basically since the teams come out after half time, and it wasn't a good idea. Eventually Motherwell did get a goal back. Gallagher, Declan Gallagher with a header. I would maybe question the goalkeeper Scott Bain. I would maybe question his position on it, because the ball came in from a free kick. Now, Celtic had plenty of warning. The Motherwell's tactics at set pieces was to play the ball to the furthest man, which was Gallagher. And there was a few times during the game that it happened the same thing. And on this occasion, obviously Gallagher made it with a good header, but I don't know. Like it's kind of one of them ones where being he thought I'm going to have to cover the near post, and I think he maybe overcompensated towards the near post a wee bit, and it left Gallagher. It wasn't like it went right in the corner, ran off the post. It went in with quite a bit to spare. So it kind of looked a wee bit dodgy at that point for Celtic, but Elionossi completed his hat trick, 76 minutes. It was only 3 or 4 minutes between the goals, but good ball in from the right wing, and Elionossi made it with a really strong header. And then 10 minutes later, Cham got the fourth. Some good work. Edward was involved, and he played the ball to Cham, who just cool side foot home, which I thought was good. It was good to see. So where does Celtic go from here? I personally think that yes, we got a win today, and a good win, and the players showed a good reaction, and that was great. But I still think that we do need a change. I love Neil Lennon. He's he's done so much for Celtic, went through so much for Celtic. Lifted titles as a captain and as a manager, and it's Celtic. Lennon that lives and breathes Celtic, but I just feel that this season there's been so many inconsistencies this season, and it just feels like sometimes whenever a team gets to that stage, that it's very hard to come back from it. So I don't know. It's hard to sack a guy after he's just won, 4-1 away from home. But I think that if Celtic are going to win the league this season, they do need to make a change. And I don't like saying that because, as I say, I've so much time for Neil Lennon and everything he's done for Celtic. But it just feels like, I'm just obviously this is a massive season for Celtic with the opportunity to set a record with 10 titles in a row. And nothing, I would genuinely love nothing more than for Neil Lennon to, overcome this and sort it out and be the man that leads Celtic to that 10. But I just my experience of watching football, just feel like whenever a team performs in the way Celtic have in a few games this season, it's it does inevitably end with the manager being replaced. And I just fear that if we don't do it, we'll get caught a wee bit further on down the line. But do I think they will sack him? I don't, to be honest, at the minute. Based on, if they had a drop points today, I think, yeah, they maybe would have. And the international break, obviously, would be an opportunity. Probably, if you're going to do something like that, the best time to do it. But I don't know. Personally, as I say, it's a real hard one because I do really genuinely have a lot of respect for Neil Lennon, but I just everything that I know about football to this point suggests to me that things are broken at the club, and there will be some good performances here and there. Like last Sunday was a great performance, or was it Saturday? It was Sunday, I think. Aberdeen in the cup semi-final was a great performance. Played well for probably certainly 65 minutes, 65, 70 minutes today. There was a wee sort of period between Motherwell getting their goal and half time where, Celtic didn't look very good, but out with that, they played well for large periods of the game. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens anyway. It is a concern. So just looking through the team today, I just want to have a wee quick look through what the players done. Being performed all right. I do have questions about the goal. The back four. So I think it'll be, I thought Frimpong, but on Ayer and Laxalt all, looked decent today. Frimpong and Ayer possibly looked like they picked up knocks. Frimpong certainly, it was a horrible tackle. Hitting the knee, I thought it was going to be one of these ones, where this is, a year out. Really disgusting tackle, and I think it was Cole. I think it was Cole, but it was horrible. Ayer also went off with an injury, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Obviously, with the 2 weeks international break, hopefully the lads will be back quickly. Scott Brown, he's coming for a lot of criticism this season, and rightfully so, in my opinion. He has often, looked way off the pace, but I thought he was really good today. Got stuck in, won his battles, and was a real force in front of the defence. McGregor was good on the ball, but I didn't think his work rate and he offered as much as Brown did. The front lads, Christie looked dangerous. Rogic was fantastic. Tom Rogic, whenever Rogic is at himself, whenever he's playing and he's consistently getting a game, he's a quality player that Celtic often lack. And I thought he was brilliant again today. I think he had an assist, but he was so much more than that. I think Rogic has been a key part in anything good that Celtic have done this season. So too is Elyounoussi, hat trick today. He would be one I would talk about inconsistencies. Sometimes he looks absolutely brilliant. Other times I'm not as convinced by him. But absolutely no arguments today. 3 goals and deserves man of the match for that. As got the run up front today. It sort of feels like Celtic have got all these strikers, but none of them really fit. Which I don't know whether it's just unlucky injuries and obviously COVID with Edward or what, like, but they just don't. None of them really look right. As yet he put in a decent enough, work, and sometimes his attitude can be frustrating for me. Like there's positives and negatives with the way he is. Obviously, like nobody wants to get taken off. Nobody wants to like. Um, he seems like he's being selfish as a striker isn't always a bad thing, but there's just sometimes he looked like whenever they scored the goal, he looked raging. Whenever like obviously his shot hit the post and then he scored, but you can kind of get it, but at the same time, you know the team won, so be happy. Um, Personally, I think the striker that Celtic have at the minute that's playing by far the best is Lee Griffiths. I know obviously there's debate over his fitness, but personally, I'd be willing to throw him in and hopefully set the tempo because he's scoring goals and he's a good player. Lads come off the bench, obviously Edward and El Hamed connected for a goal. I want to talk about Shane Duffy as well. Or not El, it was Encham and Edward connected for the goal. El Hamed, I think, crossed the goal in for Elias's third hat trick goal. But I want to talk about Shane Duffy. Come on, they played 13 minutes today, so I'm not going to talk anything about his contribution today. Obviously, didn't have a lot of time to do much, but I think it's important that we talk about him because he's came up to Celtic with reputation, decent defender and all that there. And I personally think, like, I would probably watch most of my watching Shane Duffy's coming from watching the Irish national team. And to me, Duffy's a good player, but he's a good player. He's got like a specific role and specific positions that he's good at. He's got a certain set of attributes that make him very good at certain things, but he seems to be, getting involved in stuff where he doesn't need to be. To me, Shane Duffy, if you've got a defender like Shane Duffy, like Duffy is dominant in the air. He's as good. Like he's genuinely like, there's not a player in the world who I'm sitting here and saying like, Duffy couldn't get the better of him in the air. The problem with Duffy is, that is very much his strength. So you need to then play to that strength. What you want in a defence with Shane Duffy in it is you want Duffy, whenever the ball's played up, you want Duffy to be the guy who's attacking the ball and somebody covering him. Far too many times since he's been up in Scotland and up at Celtic, Shane Duffy's been chasing boys out in the wings. Like they say, centre backs, don't want to be going out into the wide areas, and Shane Duffy is an absolute maximum of that. He's like, you do not want. He's genuinely the kind of guy who'd be better with like if he stuck extra heads on his feet. He'd be better that way because like everything about him is his strength and his heading ability. And as I say, chasing players, like you seen the goal against I think it was maybe the third or fourth goal. I'm not 100% sure the other night where the guy got him and just turned him so easily. Like that's not Duffy's position. Duffy needs like it's almost like the player alongside him, like dropping in behind, almost like a sweeper. That's where you'll get the best out of Duffy. And certainly not if he's chasing guys. He's probably the type of guy that I'd say the way Celtic are in a lot of their games doesn't necessarily suit him. He's the kind of guy who, like, if you put him in like a block, defense, and you stack midfielders in front of him and they're playing balls in, and he's just going to nod them out all day. But with Celtic, you're going to be playing most of the time. You're playing up in the other team's half, and that then means that you're probably somewhere around the halfway line with 50 yards of green behind you, and that's a lot of work for someone like Duffy. Who's not particularly fast. So I think, there's probably certain games he could do okay, but certainly at the moment he is struggling a bit. But hopefully, be it Neil Lennon, be it somebody else, they can sort of recognise his strengths and try and set up slightly differently to accommodate that. But at the minute, as I say, bit on an ire. I thought done okay today, so I wouldn't like to, if they're both fit for the next game in 2 weeks' time. As far as I'm concerned, I would give them the shirt. But anyway, that's pretty much all. I just want to look and see sort of what kind of a run of fixtures Celtic have after the break. Obviously, the 2 weeks the last time COVID hit Celtic hard. I really don't like teams going and travelling all around the world in this situation. You're in your bubble, and you're in your bubble with your club, and I'm happy enough with that. I think that's fine. But people seem to be UEFA seem to want to squeeze all these internationals in and stuff. So it's just basically you're going from one bubble to another bubble, and then all the mixing. There was a flurry of cases the last time Celtic were hit hard in it. Certainly, I think there was Edward, Buton, and Elhamed all got it, and Ryan Christie missed the Rangers game because of it as well, due to the fact that he had been in close contact with Stuart Armstrong, who got it as well. So since the last break, things didn't go well. Came straight out after that one and lost the Rangers and AC Milan. Drew with Aberdeen. Now I have to say, whenever the Lille performance, I thought Celtic played well that night, and I think despite being 2-0 up and thrown, away to go back to 2-2, there was I thought there was room for a certain pride in that. Whenever it got to 2-2, there was still plenty of time left, and I kind of thought, oh, just Celtic are going to lose this, but they didn't. Played well then against Aberdeen. Thursday was an absolute shambles. It was really as bad as it's got. 4-1 against Fir Park at home was a disgrace. So after the break, then we have 3 away games in a row down here. I don't know why we're not playing someone. I do actually. The 21st of November then is Hibs away, and then there's Europa League games on the schedule here at the minute. There's 2 Europa League games, the 26th of November and the 3rd of December, which are obviously both Thursdays. Away to Sparta and away to AC Milan. In between those is going to be a League Cup game, but as far as I know, the draw hasn't been made yet, so that's why there's no fixture on. After that, then it's a run of three home games. St Johnstone, Lille, Europa League, probably Europa League might be gone by then for Celtic. The way the results have gone in that, there's a mass turnaround in those 2 away games, which I can't really see. And then at home to Kilmarnock on the 13th of December, which leaves you up until Christmas, which the weekend before Christmas is the Scottish Cup final from last season, Celtic and Hearts. So the opportunity for Celtic to lift silverware before Christmas, which would be nice, especially obviously if it would mean completing 4 successive trebles, which would be a fantastic achievement. And then after that, you've got Ross County at home, Hamilton away, Dundee United at home, and then that leads you into New Year and the game at Ibrox against Rangers. So there's quite a lot of football still to be played before that, and obviously we Celtic playing Scottish Cup and different bits and bobs. Rangers will have an opportunity to extend their lead. So there will be at some point a stack of games for Celtic to catch up on. But that's a worry for another day. So thanks for watching today, and if you're interested in coming on, I'm probably gonna look to have maybe a chat or two during the international break, try and cover some different stuff. So if you want to come on and have a chat about Celtic or any other team, get in contact with me. I'm easy to find. So until then, thanks for watching, and hopefully, the COVID break doesn't the international break doesn't get affected too much by COVID, as it did the last time. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up again soon.